joining me this morning. And today we're looking at is an interesting way to kind of hold our freedom in life. And one way to hold it is to think that we're all on the edge of intentionality. And that is a beautiful concept, which is this idea that we're always all on the edge, not on the edge like that way, but on the edge, on the threshold of being able to live with ever more intentionality. In other words, living as we feel deeply called to live. And that's not like a life of license. It's where the better angels of our nature really are at a point where they can live as uh, live as just part of our life, like where we can just live with those best intentions, that collection of our best intentions, and live that really freely and live that with great intention. And folks, like one way to think of it, just imagine for yourself the best gift giver you know. We all have that person in our lives who just is an amazing giver of gifts. And why? Why are their gifts so powerful? Well, oftentimes it's not the thing per se. Like it's not that the present is overly expensive or rare or whatever. It's that they brought intentionality to it. And it's the intention that we can read, that attentiveness and intention that really weave together beautifully. And again, it's wonderful to watch when someone who's really good at that does it, because it's this whole idea, like they are literally they live that edge of intentionality. It's a living edge, so to speak. Now, why does that matter? Well, it was interesting, reading today a piece of Christian New Church theology, and it was talking about this idea. And again, this is believe it or not, this is still part of the story of Noah and the flood and kind of the aftermath of all that, and people sort of trying to figure it out, humanity trying to figure it out, and it's this beautiful piece. So we want to live with intentionality. Now with living into that intentionality, there's always two poles we need to be aware of. One pole is that we're all different. We have different personalities, different perspectives, different gifts, all those things. And the other part is the common good. We have that which serves the whole. Now, the challenge with those things is oftentimes those things are at odds. This one is oftentimes about self-awareness. Like, how do I get to be self-aware of what my life is all about, what I'm all about, what do I value, et cetera, et cetera. That's a very good thing. This one is about self-transcendence. So it's about how do I actually be more than those things? How do I actually sacrifice for the greater whole? And those two things, self-awareness and self-transcendence, can sometimes feel like they're in conflict. We live in a world that says really self-awareness is all there is. We're rarely called to self-transcendence, and yet self-transcendence really is the spiritual message. And it's a beautiful part to look at from a Christian New Church perspective, because Emmanuel Swinburne said, yeah, these things actually weave together. We have to weave together this idea of self-awareness and self-transcendence. And how do we do that? Well, we do that through acts of service into the common good from love. Acts of service into the common good from love. And that's where, again, all the different perspectives come together, and it kind of that love and that dedication to the common good melds them. Think of holding that as a dynamic tension, because we also, folks, the flip of it is that if we get way too into the common good, like it's just about the good of the whole, we'll miss that. And that's been abused many, many times in history. You look at, communism in the Soviet Union. You look at Mao Zedong and China, all these folks who, Cambodia, the killing fields. All that was done with this idea that there is just this collective common good, and any individuality, anything that's outside of that is considered verboten. The reality is we need both, and we need the two to be in dynamic tension. And I think a lot of it is remembering that, that the journey tends to start with self-awareness and then should tend to move with self-transcendence. It's that, and yet it's not like linear. It's not like we're playing checkers here and jumping from one block to another. It's really this circle that goes back and forth. So we start over here with self-awareness. We move into self-transcendence, where we're really learning to serve the common good. And then that circles right back into new levels of self-awareness, new levels, new understanding of what our gifts are. So that's where we can live on the edge of intentionality, that's really able to embrace both and. Can we intentionally today embrace, yep, there's these gifts that I have, right? And also embrace on the other side of it, and embrace as well the idea that there's a common good and there's something greater than me that I'm to serve out there into the world. What does that service look like? And be curious about that. Allow the two to meld together, and avoid the easy binaries. Boy, spirituality, not all the time. I imagine there are exceptions, but most of the time, if there is a binary setup, it's not going to be terribly good. If it's exclusively either or. Very rarely things exclusively either or. I mean, obviously there are extreme examples, but most of the time it's pretty much a tension we're managing, not a problem we solve. It's these things that are in a dynamic, shifting relationship, and spirituality is about holding them together. Spirituality is about the crucible, which is sort of this thing that holds molten metal, this thing that holds those. Spirituality holds those things and allows them to combine in new and very creative ways. So that is my thought for today, folks. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. Yeah, and just wishing you all the best the rest of the day. And what we're going to do now we're going to take a little breath. After we take a breath, we're going to do a little meditation, do a little meditation, a little prayer, then a little blessing, and we'll say hi to folks on social media. So with that, friends, let's all get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you home, and bring you peace. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's say a little cheery hello to folks here. And again, I hope you have beautiful spring weather. How does that sound? I know we are definitely having that out this way in the eastern part of Pennsylvania. All right, Sherry, good morning from Indiana. Sherry, always great to hear where you are joining us from. You and Bill on your great journeys. Yeah, let's take a look over here. See if any comments over here. All right, we got a number over here. All right. So let's see. Tori, great to have you joining us this morning. That's funny, Tori. I was just thinking about you and your wonderful man yesterday. So I hope life is good. Linda, good morning to you, my friend. Marcus, good morning, buddy. Kim, morning all. I always love when you add that all there. That's always a great reminder. Jean, good morning to you, my friend. Talia, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Mary writes, the journey of self-awareness and transcendence in itself holds that dynamic tension. Letting go of self-seeking will feel like a loss until we realize it's really connection with the divine and our fellows. We live the tension and the release follows. Not easy, but definitely beneficial. And I think Mary, that's spot on. Like, right? And this is just kind of how the dynamic works. And we don't even need to manufacture. I feel this is what God is doing. It's not like the lesson per se of all the 15 steps we need to do today. This is what God's doing. And sort of when we have an awareness into it, and I like the word lean into. I know maybe that's a little new agey, but when we kind of lean into this stuff, God's very present. So thank you for saying that, Mary. And a final comment: peace be with everyone today, and could not agree with that more. So, friends, God bless. So wonderful to have you joining me today. I wish you all the very best as you move forward into your day and weekend ahead. And take care. We will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.